5 or more questions with Tommy Black. We have Chris Wyse from Owl and the Hollywood Vampires. Hello, Chris.
Hey, Tommy. How's it going, brother?
Good, good. You're relaunching Owl here pretty soon. Let's talk about your background a little bit first here. Where'd you reside before you were in L.A.?
I started in New York originally. My mom and dad are from Ireland and immigrated to New York and met there.
Wow.
And then we kind of moved upstate, and then that was my stomping grounds with my earliest like high school, college bands. And then I moved to Hollywood in my mid-20s.
What year did you move to Hollywood?
95.
Oh.
So I came in right after all the fires and riots and the huge scene on Sunset. You know, a different time.
Exactly. You weren't here for like the early Sunset Strippy stuff, but you came right after all that.
Yeah, I experienced before that. There was more of that like competitive New York thing,
Right.
You know, which band was more unique, or it wasn't just chops. You know, a lot of chops back then, but it was you know, kind of outdoing the other bands was part of the New York thing. Getting to play CDs and weird places like the Scrap Bar, and I remember playing a Battle of the Bands in Lemore's with one of my bands back in the day, and we won, and the owner told us to leave because the other guys were going to kick our asses and stuff. We didn't get out of there, so we accepted the check and took off, and they announced who won, and you know, so it was. I had more of a New York City experience before LA.
Wow, a lot cooler and rougher. But Scrap Bar, I remember that.
A little
place.
heavier, I think.
Darker.
Yeah.
What bands were you playing with out there then? That like peers. What would be peer groups that I might know of?
Oh gosh, you would know my bands. You know, like we had a version of a few things, but one was called East Wall, and another one was called Exodus, and we weren't the real Exodus from.
Right.
So we just had these kind of like regional success. You know,
Yeah.
like that kind of thing.
And what were other bands around that time?
I just remember all the alternative explosions happen. Everything from the Mighty Boss Tones to the Jane's Addiction thing to the, you know, I was in that alternative era.
The cooler scene.
Rob Zombie, White Zombie, I remember all that.
Yeah.
You know?
When you moved to LA, what was one of the first things you did here?
I joined a band called Lusk, Lusk, with Paul DeMoore from Tool.
Cool.
And
Wow.
Chris Pittman from Guns N' Roses, and that was kind of like my first thing. And the company, the label, actually technically bought me my electric upright that I still play today, which I'll be playing with Owl. You know,
Wow.
and so because the real upright was becoming a bit of a burden to keep it functioning properly live, and then the feedback. So I got my first electric upright in '97, and I think we played the Viper Room then. And then after that, it was like Tal Bachman. Remember Tal Bachman?
Yeah.
She's So High. Yeah. So I remember Tal had a big showcase at the Viper Room as well. So the Viper Room for me has been a place where I've been playing upright electric bass, and this exact one I'll be playing since '97.
Wow, wow. And
I launched Owl pretty much around that time too. About 2000, Owl was, you know, I was developing it, and we were playing around town, and I was that kind of, especially at that time, considered very artsy, you know, to be doing such a thing.
Yeah.
But just kind of stuck to my guns and was the oddball, you know, that would be on the lineup because everyone was very like rock, Sunset Strip kind of oriented, and I was kind of this artsy character. But you know, I think it's endured because it's a classical instrument, and you know, I just keep working my craft, and it's fun. It's different these days to be playing upright.
It's so cool that you use it the way you use it, the application in which you do. Did you always have that in all your earlier bands too, or was this again a later thing? Or
it was difficult. This is something that a lot of people aren't aware of these days, I think, because we've lost the music in our schools and such. So the classical instruments or orchestral instruments are a little more kind of in the background now for some reason. But I played upright bass in college, and that was my major, and I learned classical and all this kind of thing. So trying to amplify it back then, there was all these transducers and little pickup systems, but I'd have bloody fingers a lot of the times. We try and do these like semi-rock acoustic sets. And
wow.
It was a burden for many years, and then I finally got the Messenger electric upright bass, it's called, and it's a small luthier up in Northern Cal that just kind of nailed it and used the right technology, and the electric uprights in general are much better. So that was a big deal back in '97 for me, because suddenly, sonically, I could keep up with the guy with the Marshall now.
Wow, it was a breakthrough.
But the physical burden on my body,
and your car
was a little different. Yeah, it was a little different on my arms and hands. At least now I wasn't struggling to be heard. I could almost be too loud.
Wow, that's awesome.
That was a big breakthrough. And then, of course, the effects and stuff, because you're not worried about the feedback problem. And that's where I really got to, utilize different things and sounds. But all of it's really just my songwriting, and I get to dress it up with those fun flavors,
Mm-hmm. Now, early on, you also played with Cantrell, right? Jerry Cantrell. And,
that was a thing that, it was like the Cult, and then Camp Freddy sort of spawned, and then I wasn't in the Cult, and then I kept bumping into Duffy, and he invited me into Camp Freddy because Chris Chaney wasn't available or something like this. And then I was kind of a go-to sub for Camp Freddy, so I met a lot of people. And I met Jerry back then and had a stint with him doing his solo stuff, and got to do a lot of singing, a lot of harmonies and stuff with Eric Bradley, who is in Owl, who will be playing July 15th. So Eric and I sing, we have a singing connection, Eric and I. Yeah, definitely.
God, that's cool. Let's see, we got the Cult. You did that. How many years were you in the Cult?
Oh, I guess technically about a little less than a decade, but I was in it once before with Matt Storm and had that comeback Atlantic Records deal. And I did that album, but I didn't tour it. I only did some touring, and came back to the Cult in 2006 for just almost a decade, if you add it all up. And Duffy and I were doing Cardboard Vampires with Cantrell before that, too. So Duffy and I have a big history, and that was connective, too.
Yeah, your second vampire band.
Yeah, isn't that funny? I know. And so many years of things, as you know, and then I got to meet Ozzy and play with Ozzy because I met Mike Borden through Cantrell, and that led me to Ozzy. So I ended up doing Prince of Darkness, Undercover, it was called.
See, I didn't even know that. That's cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a dream come true. I told my mom and dad in New York one day, I said, look, I was probably 14. And I said, look, I'm going to Hollywood one day to play with Ozzy. So I got to call home with Ozzy in the background, and you get me calling, hey, you'll never guess whose record I'm working on.
Wow.
So
that's so cool.
See,
I just thought you were a cool man about the town when I see you at the club, and who knew all this stuff? What? Okay, and then
around that time too, I auditioned for Metallica, and that was kind of an interesting time. It was a bit of a downtime. And then, actually backwards. Kirk Hammett called me and said they're going with Trujillo, but I was there for like hours. I had a really great audition.
Wow.
And they said, do you want us to call Ozzy? But Jason Newsted got it with a phone call. But then I joined Cantrell, and then I met Borden, and Borden said, we should get you. You're the man. And then that's how I ended up in there.
Wow.
So it all came around, like, sort of mystically, without me being a hustler. As you know, I'm not a hustler type. I just kind of try and sit with cool artists.
Yeah, you consistently you're in consistently cooler to the left kind of bands, you know what I mean? It's not like you're not a sellout.
I'm just not interested as much in the center pop world, but there's some cool stuff out there in all genres.
Yeah.
It's just, I tend to lean a little more, I guess, I don't know, just a little left of center. Years ago, I worked with Scott Weiland in this band called Big Blue Missile. You and I have Scott in common a little bit, too.
Wow. I didn't
know.
I remember he brought you up one time. He did bring you up one time. We talked about you.
A lot of projects and things he had, and I was lucky enough to kind of be in one of those side things he did.
Yeah, that's cool.
And, just like one thing to the other, I've been very, very fortunate. And Ace Frehley, of course, started giving me a bass solo every night, which is like going back to my high school days, which made me reach deep into my kind of... musical world again, and on the bass guitar, So that was fun, and we opened up for Alice Cooper, and then I met Tommy and got to know Alice and the guys better, and that led to the Vampires.
Dang. And Glenn's was in Alice Cooper, or still is too, right?
Yeah. Glenn was one of the guys I threw in the running for the Cult back in the day when we were getting back together in 2006.
He's a good guy.
So it's great to get... Yeah, Glenn's a great guy. Monster player.
Monster. Both you guys have been coming out on the Monday things. I've seen Glenn there a lot lately. I think he's out of town now, though. But
he's off. Yeah, we like to stay busy and play if we can. All of us guys, right?
Rightfully so. Okay, let's talk about vampires for a minute. We have to. Okay. You guys just got a single out, right?
Well, we had Who's Laughing Now, and then Heroes, and then there's another coming.
Cool.
I don't think it's out yet, so I won't say it. So,
yeah.
But the record's out, and it's getting amazing feedback. And again, Tommy Hendrickson, he was kind of the big connect for me because we were hanging on the road together, getting brunch or going out at night after shows or whatever it was, and he started going, "Hey man, are you available?" And Tommy was the man on this, like really pulling the band guys together, writing, producing.
You were playing some stuff for me one time.
Yeah.
I was giving you a ride home. You said Tommy's your secret weapon over there in that band.
Yeah, he's the guy he is the man that kind of, that pulls it all together. He produced it as well and co-wrote and all this kind of stuff. But, Johnny's got a special talent for writing unique songs and riffs.
Yeah.
He likes to tweak things out a little bit. Like, he'll have something like in I Want My Now, and he'll put in a little half step and tweak it just a little different. Everything's very thoughtful, and the lyrics are very thoughtful. And then you have Joe Perry's style, and it's the unbelievable frontman Alice Cooper that he is with everything that he brings. So,
that's awesome.
Buck and I were in Tal Bachman together years ago. The thing I was telling you about. We recorded that album. So it's funny. Like a couple of the guys I knew for a really long time, and the crew as well. Joe Perry's tech and kind of guy behind the scenes of a lot of things. Marco Moyer used to be my bass tech in the Cult.
Wow.
So kind of a small world thing after you know how it is when you've been here a long time.
Yep. That's cool. I saw you guys do Heroes and a couple other songs at Kimmel a week or two ago, and it sounded so good.
I Want My Now is out as well. Thank you.
It was so good.
Thank you.
The upright it was cool, and even in an outdoor situation, you could hear it just set nice.
Yeah, it's a special thing, and like those tones and things I've been working on for years. Just little details to make sure it cuts without overwhelming.
It was great. Do you got any good little tales from either something earlier on or a vampire's tale? Can you give me a tale?
But I will tell you, it's been a pleasure to always be playing the Viper Room, and a lot of my tales are like ghostly, and I always pick up vibes over there, and I've always got a sense of something. Yeah, Johnny and I did speak about when he was there all the time, he's got the sense of otherworldly stuff happening. Wow. And I have too, and we're going to be performing a song called Ghost in the Starlight on the Owl debut record, which came out a few years back, actually 10, and it was all inspired by things up here in Wonderland. I live up in Laurel Canyon, as you know, and things I always got the sense of, and I was like, I'm just crazy and being imaginative. And then I talked to like people that would stay here with me and spend a few days, and they'll say, "Hey, Chris, I saw this woman," and blah, blah, blah. So I started writing about her, and came up with a song called "Ghost in the Starlight," which is actually a mystic's way of saying owl.
Wow.
So, I'm very into my lyrics and concepts, and so we did speak of ghostly things over at the Viper Room, and I've had a couple experiences over there where I saw things.
Yeah, a lot of people have, and they're always saying, especially staff. Staff has a lot of little experiences of seeing things or things touching them and stuff like that, or just, I don't know, just things moving.
It used to be a speakeasy, right?
Right, correct.
Maybe 2 or something years ago. So there's a history of it being kind of a bar and having a long time, all kinds of patrons and
Bugsy Siegel and Malone and all these people, and there's a lot of different. It's been a lot of different things over the years, but it's cool.
See, Tommy, you were looking for some dirt, but I gave you some mystical stuff.
No, that's good. I'm fine with mystical dirt. I don't want dirt. I want mystical dirt. No, you said last time you were in there, you're like, dude, I think I felt something pretty heavy in here. You told me last time you were in there.
A few times.
Yeah.
A few times. Yeah.
Yeah. And
like others have confirmed it. So, like, again, some of the things up in Laurel Canyon too that I was experiencing a few years back. When I wrote this song, I was like asking people, and people confirm it. So you're like, something's happening. I don't know.
That place in Laurel Canyon you live in is amazing. It's so cool. But it's like there's little stones and stuff. It's like you can trip over that stuff, you know? But I could see where things would be. How old is that place? It's old, right?
Well, it's kind of I'm like a family friend of my old buddy that was once here. He passed away. So that's another one of the reasons why I'm going to be playing the song. I really want to play Ghost in the Starlight on July 15th, on my birthday.
Yes, your birthday show. July 15th. We're very excited about that. And
should I give you owltheband.net? We have a website. We're kind of updating everything again, but I think everything's running right now.
Yeah, and, cool.
You know, we're Owl on Facebook, and I'm available to people.
Yeah, different videos you've been leaking out lately, a little bit here and there on your social medias. This sounds amazing, and I've seen you guys play a few times in the past. I'm excited to see this. You guys haven't played as Al in a bit. How long?
In 2 years now, yeah. Actually, the funny thing is playing with the Vampires and kind of doing the Upright Again, and people seeing me out there in that capacity or whatever, was like saying, man, you got to bring your band back. It kind of spawned. It's funny how one thing pushes the other, but my buddies around me kind of were pushing me to do it again.
You have
it's
to.
Exhaustive it's exhaustive in between doing your other bands, but I started missing it, and now I'm ready to do it again. And
it's time.
The guys, Eric Bradley and Dan Dinsmore's from New York, my high school bands from back in the day.
Cool.
So he's coming out and playing the show. Should be great.
Yep, I'm very excited. We're very excited to have you, and hopefully nothing too scary is going to happen when you play.
Yeah, maybe just a good heavy vibe.
A good heavy vibe.
Some artistic stuff. Yes, artistic, scary stuff. And also, we have Hillbilly Harold confirmed to warm us up at 8, so we're on at 9.
Cool.
And then the jam starts, and
the Sunset Jam.
Some stuff going on there.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, we're looking forward to having you, and nice talking to you, and see you on July 15th, if not sooner, maybe. But see you then. All right?
All right, Tommy. Thank you so much. Let me know if you need anything.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Bye.
Bye.